This episode is brought to you by Rum Chata, a delicious creamy blend of horchata with rum. It's best enjoyed over ice or in your coffee. Rum Chata, delivering vacation vibes, any way or anywhere you drink it. Find out more at rumchata.com. Drink responsibly. Caribbean rum with real dairy cream, natural and artificial flavors. Alcohol 13.75% by volume, 27.5 proof. Copyright 2025, Agave Loco Brands, Pewaukee, Wisconsin. All rights reserved.
We
are
Cultivate.
Cultivate.
We are Cultivate.
Hello and welcome to Ye Olde Crime, where we discuss the funny, strange, and obscure crimes of yesteryear. I'm your host, Lindsay Valenti, and with me is my sister and co-host, Maddie Savage.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I have one thing in the corrections cubby, and this is totally my fault. So last week I said that Alex's new podcast, Second Guess Everything, came out on October 25th, but it actually comes out on October 28th. So by the time this episode comes out, it will have already come out. So it's a moot point, but I wanted to acknowledge it and apologize.
Oh. Well, at least it's like a not so bad cubby. Like you're still getting it. I mean, you know, this cubby is just a lesson in patience, you know?
Which is a virtue.
It is. You're welcome, actually. We take it back. It didn't belong in the cubby. You're welcome. Patience.
That was for you.
Yeah. The historical lesson that never gets learned.
This is true. So this is our last Spoopy episode of October outside of our Halloween episode, which will probably be a little bit shorter, but it's going to be good. I'm really excited to discuss it with you.
Okay.
So today we will be discussing Nicola Aubrey and her exorcism.
Uh-oh.
So, information was pulled from the following sources. A 2022 All That's Interesting article by Kalina Fraga, a 2022 Unum Sanctum Catholicum blog post, 2022 Los Angeles Review of Books article by Ed Simon, 2020 Esoterics blog post, 2013 Gizmodo article by Annalie Newitz, Fandom Wiki, Granger Historical Picture Archive, Our Lady of the Rosary Library article by Father Michael Mueller, CSSR, and Wikipedia. And links to all of these articles will be included in the show notes. We wouldn't be here without support from listeners like you. If you're interested in supporting us financially, you can leave a one-time or monthly donation over on Buy Me a Coffee or our Venmo page. Links are in the show notes. And we make a point of reaching out to send you a thank you note and stickers to show our appreciation.
Want to show your support in a more concrete way? Pick up some Ye Olde Crime merch over at our TeePublic shop. We shout out whenever there is a sale each month, and we work to make sure we're creating new designs and changing it up whenever possible. And hey, thanks for listening.
This week, we're traveling to France in the mid-16th century.
Okay. I was wondering how far back this would be.
So the mid-1500s. To bear witness to the case of a young woman who was possessed, quote unquote, and how her exorcism kind of became a tool for a religious war.
So was she the spark, essentially? She was the kindling?
Yeah, she was the final spark.
Dang.
So, and this, I'm not going to focus as much on like the war that happened aspect of it. I'm going to give a really high level on all of that.
Right.
This story is mainly focusing on her as a person, not all the other stuff that happened around her. So, just to set the stage, because I didn't want to do a deep dive on the War of the Religions. I wanted to focus on Nicola.
I mean, you could have entire podcasts dedicated to that. I'm sure there are entire podcasts dedicated to that.
And I guarantee you they would do a much better job than I would at it. But I just wanted to let people know this isn't going to be a deep dive into the War of Religions.
All right.
So, in the 16th century, a religious movement in Western Europe led to the Wars of Religion as the Protestants split from the Roman Catholic Church.
That's when that happened. I always kind of wondered.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know we're not going to dive super deep into it, but that was different than King Henry VIII's separation.
Correct.
So what sparked this separation? What sparked the trigger of Protestantism? Is that a thing?
Yeah, Protestantism. I'm not 100% sure. In this instance, many people, including the Pope, tried to stop the spread of Protestantism during the Council of Trent, which essentially granted the Pope more power while simultaneously causing the closure of nationally organized Roman Catholic churches. So in essence, that meant there soon became like one nationally recognized Roman Catholic Church.
So kind of like circling the wagons kind of a thing. Of
yes.
We have a sickness. We need to cull the herd a little bit.
Yes. For Roman Catholics in France, however, their church was viewed as a national church belonging to the people of France, independent of Rome, and therefore unaffected by the Council of Trent. So in other places throughout Western Europe, Roman Catholic churches were closing left, right, and center. But in France, they were like, nuh-uh, we own this church. Not the Pope, not Roman Catholicism. We own it. So it is going to be run because it's ours. By us, because it's ours. And before 1560, Calvinism / Protestantism spread throughout France. And although it was only a minority, because they were also known as Huguenots.
Yep.
Amongst their ranks were actually some high-ranking nobles, such as the Prince of Condé. And since the prince lived in Laon, many fellow Huguenots moved there as well. Because they're like, if this guy practices our religion, we're not going to be persecuted there. So we're going to go to where
so
he
we can
lives.
work for him.
Yes.
And live in his world and be safe-ish.
Yes. And it's around this time that we're introduced to Nicola Aubrey, a young married French woman who was around 16 at the time.
She was married at 16.
That is the extent of what I know of that. I couldn't tell you who she was married to, how old they were, if they had children.
That's rare.
That's the extent of it.
That's crazy. You would think that you would know more about her husband. Just going by what history prefers in general.
Yeah. Not this time.
Apparently not when it comes to exorcisms. They're like, leave me out of this, please.
He was like, let's keep me on the DL in this situation.
Can you just scratch my name out, please?
Yeah.
Let's just say the demon did it. Yeah. It's fine.
And her husband, redacted.
Demon won't say his name.
A resident of Vervon, Picardy in France, she became so ill that she was unable to eat. And on November 3rd of 1565, she claimed to be possessed by an evil spirit that she had once believed was the ghost of her dead grandfather.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to unpack there.
So the apparition begged her for prayers and masses to save his immortal soul.
And of course, like, she'd do it.
Because she thought it was her grandfather.
Yeah.
But it quickly became apparent that all was not as it appeared. Throughout her possession, she would speak in a gruff voice, and in addition to being unable to eat, she would suffer convulsions so severe that it would take anywhere from 12 to 15 men to hold her down.
And she's like not eating during this time.
Correct. And I have no idea how big she was prior to this. Like what sort of healthy weight she would have been at.
But if she's 16, living in the French countryside in the 1500s, I feel like odds are fairly safe that she was like at least an average kind of like worker weight. So probably,
if not slightly malnourished to begin with.
Yeah, if she hadn't been eating for who knows how long by that time.
In November of 1565, Dominican priest Father Gimoata of Vervon was the first to attempt to determine which demonic forces had possessed Nicola. He came to the conclusion that not only was she possessed, but she was possessed by around 30 devils, with 3 of them being too strong for him to exercise on his own.
I can't imagine, like, during that time, how terrifying that would have been to hear. 30? 30. And there are at least 3 that a priest who at this time, if they, like, were exorcists, I would assume 1, they're way more prevalent than they are now, and 2, had quite a good reputation. So, like, they're not like your fair weather, I'm just doing this as a side gig kind of a thing.
Yep.
These are usually the guys who, like, know the book and work out to hold you down.
Yep.
Throw shit at your face.
Yep.
Yell at you. Dang. That has to be scary. In the middle of, like, religious tense war, too.
Yep. This is a quote from an account of one of the initial exorcisms.
Okay. So either one of, like, the volunteers to help or, like,
someone was
maybe
dictating it.
An apprentice or somebody watching and...
Yep. Quote, "What is thy name?" asked the bishop. "Beelzebub, prince of the devils, next to Lucifer," answered the evil spirit.
Not a good first start.
"How many companions hast thou here at present?" "There are 19 of us now," answered Satan. "Tomorrow there will be 20. But this is not yet all, for I see that I must call all hell to my assistance. I command thee in the name and by the power of God," said the bishop in a solemn voice, "to depart instantly with thy infernal companions." "Yes, we shall depart," replied the evil spirit, "but not now and not here. My work is not yet done in this city." "Where goest thou when expelled by the power of the real presence of our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament?" asked the bishop. "You want to know where I go, do you? Well, last night I paid you a visit," answered Satan, and then he related the very words the bishop had said on hearing a noise in his room. End quote.
Oh, man.
Nicola had to endure horrific torture during each exorcism. 9 or 10 men would have to restrain her physically. Quote, "She had been lying on the ground when she stood upright and stiff as a statue, without those who held her being able to prevent it. She spoke diverse languages, revealed the most secret things, announced others at the moment they were being done, although at a great distance. She discovered to many the secret of their conscience, uttered at once 3 different voices or tones and spoke with her tongue hanging half a foot out of her mouth, end quote.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. And like, God, like there's no TV or radio or anything. So if you're hearing this,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to think it's like the end of the world.
Yeah.
Being around this at this time. That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
so scary.
Mm-hmm. Nicola would return to lucidity for a short time after receiving the holy sacraments, and she would get that at every exorcism.
So she would come to herself kind of in the beginning of every session.
She would at the point where they were doing the Eucharist,
Okay.
so communion.
Got it.
And during these periods, she was able to relay to the priests what she experienced during the exorcisms.
Oh my gosh.
In her trance, she would be surrounded by shadowy men who would be armed with knives and threaten to murder her. Additionally, she would be surrounded by beasts that breathed fire and brimstone that attempted to suffocate her.
That would be so scary. And you're just like, what? In your bed or at home? And then suddenly you're transported into that.
Hellscape?
Oh my God. I thought the Benadryl Hat Man was bad.
Same. Oh my God, same.
No thank you to any of that.
Throughout her possession, many Calvinist preachers saw her at the convent to, quote, expose this popish cheat, end quote.
Well, yeah, okay. I get, of course, you've got your naysayers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bring them in.
However, quote, on their entrance, the devil saluted them mockingly, called them by name, and told them that they had come in obedience to him. One of the preachers took his Protestant prayer book and began to read it with a very solemn face. The devil laughed at him, and putting on a most comical look, he said, "Ho, ho, my good friend, do you intend to expel me with your prayers and hymns? Do you think that they will cause me any pain? Do you know that they are mine? I helped to compose them." "And I pray Lucifer," cried the evil spirit, "that he may never leave you, but may always keep you firmly in his power, as he does now. Go about your business now. You are all mine, and I am your master." End quote.
That would be so scary.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with you developing a new version of this religion too, right? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to do this thing and then the literal devil himself is discrediting you in front
Mm-hmm.
of all of your like enemies essentially and peers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he's just spanking them
Yep.
with his words. He doesn't even have to mess with her.
Yeah.
Gross.
Father Jimoata was able to expel several demons from Nicola, who, quote, fled to Geneva, end quote, which was the epicenter of the Protestant movement. So essentially, this Catholic is...
So the Roman Catholics are saying that all of these demons, their home, quote unquote, is in Geneva, where the Protestant religion is being birthed.
Yes.
Dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty, dirty, dirty.
And throughout these exorcisms, Nicola suffered physically.
Yeah, I bet.
At times, her limbs would appear to stretch. Her face would be unnaturally elongated before being widened, and she would curl into a ball. When he was finally able to expel 26 of the 29 demons, it was after a horrific cracking sound was heard, and a foul stench issued from Nicola's mouth.
Like sulfur?
They didn't say what it was, but I'm assuming sulfur.
Like it would, because that's foul.
Mm-hmm.
And usually is the presence of them.
Father Moata was unable to expel the final 3 demons possessing Nicola, including one who claimed to be Beelzebub, the prince of the Huguenots. He refused to leave the body of Nicola unless he was exorcised by the Bishop of Laon himself.
So he wanted both religions.
Yes. He wanted an audience, and he wanted to be able to do it
with as many eyes and ears.
And he wanted to do it in the new capital of the Huguenots, which is Laon.
So he's trying to dismantle another branch of Christianity, essentially.
Yes. He's like, we're going to go to the Roman Catholic Church in Laon, which is where this huge Protestant contingent lives, and we'll see what happens.
With a street fight right in the.
There's going to be a bunch of snapping in the streets, dance fighting. Yeah.
Bunch of water, chanting.
So on January 4th, 1566, Bishop Jean de Boer arrived in Vervon, but despite his attempts, he was unable to exorcise the demon from Nicola.
Yeah, because the other guy said he couldn't do it alone, so if it's just the one guy trying alone, that's not going to work. You need at least 2 of them.
So that was January 4th. On January 26th, 1566.
Oh my gosh, almost 20 days later?
The bishop led a procession surrounded by a crowd of about 12,000 people from Nicola's home at the Cathedral of Laon. So she had been staying at a convent there.
Okay.
Members of the crowd included ordinary people, ordinary townsfolk, papal nuncios, parliamentary deputies, aristocrats, and university scholars. So it was like the whole gambit of society.
People just wanting to help this poor woman.
Or to just gawk.
Or like if the world is ending, we want a front row seat.
Yep. Every day, she would be taken from the convent where she was staying to the Cathédrale Notre-Dame du Laon, where crowds of people would sit in newly constructed seats to behold the spectacle of her exorcisms.
And they just kept getting worse, didn't they?
So according to Beelzebub,
according to him,
because he would be talking during these exorcisms,
right.
The Huguenots had stolen the communion wafer from Catholicism, cut it into pieces, and boiled it before burning each piece. He also claimed that the Huguenots were more dangerous to Christianity than Jesus Christ, and that their crimes would be far worse than those of the Jews who crucified the Son of God.
Wow, he really wanted to nip that religion in the bud, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's not pulling any punches.
No.
He's like, I hate this. You should too.
Yeah. As I said, the processions to the cathedral continued daily, and the bishop was finally able to banish 3 demons from Nicola. Astaroth, who was represented as a pig in a 19th century engraving, and Cerberus, who is depicted as a dog.
Yeah? Those were the other 2 demons? That they couldn't get rid of? Just the guard dogs, essentially?
At one point during one of her exorcisms, the process was interrupted by a Calvinist zealot by the name of Dr. Carlier, who attempted to kill Nicola with poison.
How do you interrupt something with poison?
I don't know if
he like
just...
a poison blow dart?
I don't know. He didn't go into detail.
He gives her like the midday tea.
Following this attempted assassination. All the additional seating that had been constructed within the cathedral so that the general populace could looky-loo at these exorcisms, it was taken away.
Burned it.
They were like, this isn't safe. We can't do this anymore.
This isn't a joke anymore, guys.
Yeah. It wasn't until February 8th, 1566.
So over a month since they started this effort.
Yes.
Which is round 2
Yes.
of the exorcisms.
Yes. That an event came to be known as the Miracle of Laon, when the bishop held the Holy Eucharist and drove Beelzebub from Nicola's body. Quote, "The bishop now took the Blessed Sacrament in his hand and held it close to the face of the possessed woman. At last, Satan was compelled to flee once more. The next morning, after the procession was ended, the holy sacrifice of the Mass was offered up as usual. During the consecration, the possessed woman was twice raised over 6 feet into the air and then fell back heavily upon the platform. As the bishop, just before the Pater Noster, took the sacred host once more in his hand and raised it with the chalice, the possessed woman was again whisked into the air, carrying with her the keepers, 15 in number, at least 6 feet above the platform, and after a while she fell heavily back on the ground."
So she was just floating in the air, like 6 feet in the air, just dangling until she dropped.
At this sight, all present were filled with amazement and terror. A German Protestant named Voske fell on his knees. He burst into tears. He was converted. Quote, "Ah!" unquote, he cried. Quote, "I now believe firmly that the devil really possesses this poor creature. I believe that it is really the body and blood of Jesus Christ which expels him. I believe firmly. I will no longer remain a Protestant," end quote. And after Mass, the exorcism began as usual, end quote.
So was this all just a giant campaign against Protestants?
I don't know. In the wood engraving that was created about this event, Beelzebub himself was depicted as a bull, for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's very apt, honestly, because he was. He was a bull during that entire thing. He bullied his way into that whole situation.
Quote, "Satan was, at last, expelled again by means of the Blessed Sacrament. On leaving, he paralyzed the left arm and the right foot of Nicola, and also made her left arm longer than her right, and no power on earth could cure this strange infirmity until some weeks after, when the devil was at last completely and irrevocably expelled," end quote.
So he just messed with her one last time just for shits and giggles before he was like fine, and then her body was okay.
Yep.
What a dick.
One eyewitness to her final exorcism described the moment that Beelzebub was finally expelled from her body as being preceded by thunder, smoke, and a fog that, quote, "encircled the bell towers of the church," end quote. In the moments before this, her body became so twisted and revolting that many in attendance had to cover their eyes in horror.
So she probably likely took shape of whatever was possessing her briefly?
Maybe. Well, here we go. Quote, "The poor possessed woman writhed fearfully. Her limbs cracked as if every bone in her body were breaking. The 15 strong men who held her could scarcely keep her back. They staggered from side to side. They were covered with perspiration. Satan tried to escape from the presence of our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament. The mouth of Nicola was wide open. Her tongue hung down below her chin. Her face was shockingly swollen and distorted. Her color changed from yellow to green and became even gray and blue, so that she no longer looked like a human being. It was rather the face of a hideous, incarnate demon. All present trembled with terror, especially when they heard the wild cry of the demon, which sounded like the loud roar of a wild bull. They fell on their knees and with tears in their eyes began to cry out, "Jesus, have mercy." End quote.
I'm so, that would be so scary.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so scary if you saw that and if thousands of people saw that.
Fun fact.
Mm.
Nicola had to endure more than 3 months of nearly daily exorcisms.
If she wasn't then before, she was sure as shit then after.
Because this all started at the beginning of November.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's been months before they ramped it up.
According to Our Lady of the Rosary Library, the successful exorcism of Nicola Aubrey was witnessed by over 150,000 people.
How?
I know.
Like, is that over 150,000, like, I'm assuming over the 3 months?
It would have to be.
Yeah.
It would have to be. There wouldn't be that many
Yeah.
people in a church. There wouldn't be no
Mm-mm.
mega church that could hold 150,000 people at that time.
That's
There couldn't be.
crazy. That's crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm. In response to her ordeal, some Calvinists were convinced the exorcism was real. And as a result, they converted back to Roman Catholicism as part of the Counter-Reformation, while others viewed it as an elaborate hoax.
Right? Like just a way to get the flock back.
Yes. Following the exorcism, news of the quote-unquote miracle had spread throughout Europe, and it soon became a tool for Roman Catholic propaganda against Protestants.
Yep.
It essentially started a religious witch hunt in France, which was severely limited in its resistance in the French courts.
Yeah, I bet. Because according to them, most of them, if there was 150,000 people, you best believe there was at least one person in every court that witnessed or heard of it or knew somebody who was there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be hard.
In fact, Prince Louis de Bourbon-Condé ordered Nicola's interrogation, and after it became apparent that she was telling the truth about her possession, he sent her home. However, he later imprisoned her until he was forced to release her by King Charles IX after her parents begged him to help them.
So he just imprisoned her because he was mad, essentially. Didn't believe her and thought she was the reason for all of this ickiness.
Yeah, he just essentially thought she was a heretic.
Yeah, I suppose
Straight
if
through
he
jail.
really thought that, yeah, he probably thought he was justified.
Prince Louis was convinced that Protestants would be persecuted, and in response, he attempted to overthrow King Charles, thereby ushering in another religious war in 1567.
Cute. So in a panic of them retaliating, they retaliated, triggering them to act, whether they were planning to or not.
People who converted back to Roman Catholicism from Protestantism began to accuse anyone who didn't practice as atheists, witches, and that they should be killed as witches after receiving the death penalty.
That escalated quickly.
It ramped up well past 11.
Hard. Everybody was like, oh my God, we saved this woman. Let's kill everyone else now.
And these religious witch hunts weren't limited to Europe and France specifically. The hunts left the continent entirely, even taking place among the Protestant churches in Africa.
Dang.
Nicola would go on to be known as, quote, the demoniac of Laon, end quote. And 6 years after her final exorcism, France's second deadliest religious conflict would start, lasting 30 years between Catholics and Calvinist Protestant Huguenots.
That's insane.
Through a mix of violence, disease, and famine, this holy war would claim the lives of 3 million people.
That's so sad. That's so sad. Like,
yeah.
Why?
It's unclear, following her release from prison, what became of Nicola following her harrowing ordeal.
I hope nothing. I hope she lived like the dullest,
most boring, basic life ever.
Yeah.
Almost the instant after they were able to get Beelzebub out of her.
Yeah.
Nicola was able to move her left arm freely, which had previously been paralyzed.
Insane.
And from that day forward, she attended Mass every single day and became an even more devout Catholic.
I bet, because I imagine you would be petrified the rest of your life that if you missed even like to the second of your ritual, like if you didn't have OCD, you best believe you have it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I would do the same thing over and over and over and over again for fear that it would happen again.
Yeah. And to kind of bookend today's episode, I wanted to share this quote from Friedrich Nietzsche. From Beelzebub. From your boy. Just kidding.
Just coming in, checking in.
Just checking in. BBZ dub. Quote, be careful, lest in casting out your demon, you exercise the best thing in you. End quote.
Yep.
And that is the possession and exorcism of Nicola Aubrey.
That's horrific.
Yeah.
You know, I always kind of wondered what the difference in those exorcisms would be comparatively to like what we see on TV shows and stuff, you know, because like you really don't hear about exorcisms pre 1800. Horrific. I hate it. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, France, you were such a hot mess back then, man.
Oh, I mean, freaky France, and you're.
Let's be real. Nobody can talk at all right now, right?
Yeah.
However,
we for sure cannot cast stones. But
no.
16th century France, WTF.
Had a hard time, guys.
Was a
rough go of it, you know.
A rough century for y'all. If you love the show, the best way to support us is to leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Good Pods, CastBox, Podcast Addict, and or Audible. Links to all of these are in our show notes, or if you're already listening on one of these platforms, you know what to do.
Oh, and while you're at it, shoot us a question you'd like to hear us answer on the pod. We'll give you a special shout out and address your burning questions all at the same time. The weirder, the better. Submit them via link in our show notes or shoot them to us in our DMs.
As humans, we like to think we have the answers, like we've got it all figured out. But the truth is, the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know. We cling to theories, to stories, to ideas, just to make sense of the world around us. But what if everything we've believed was wrong? Welcome to Second Guess Everything, where each season I'll take you on a thrilling journey through the darkest corners of humanity. From unsolved crimes to mind-bending conspiracy theories, haunted hotspots, and every dark historical moment in between, Second Guess Everything will make you question everything you thought you knew and open your mind to a world of mystery. If you're ready to question everything, be sure to tune in to the first 3 episodes of Season 1 on October 28th, 2025. Subscribe today on your favorite podcast player.
Just as last week, this week's podcast plug is Second Guess Everything, the podcast that dives deep into the strange, unsettling, and unexplained. Each season explores a range of dark topics, from true crime to paranormal, disturbing historical events, and more. Hosted by our good friend Alex Underbaki, Second Guess Everything is a proud member of the Cultivate Podcast Network. And the first 3 episodes are out now. We love to hear from you, and there's a couple of ways you can reach out to us. You can email us at yeoldecrimepodcast@gmail.com, where you can send us story ideas, share any spooky stories you may have, fun gifts, or even just to say hello.
You can also reach out to us via snail mail. Remember mail? Our mailing address is Ye Olde Crime Podcast, P.O. Box 341, Wyoming, Minnesota 55092. Fun fact, we like to send out thank you cards with fun stickers you can't get at our shop, so it's worth the cost of a stamp.
And this week's listener question comes from Carrie Ann, and she would like to know, if you could rescue one person from a medieval execution, who would it be?
Ooh. Oh, man. You know, I kind of want to say Anne Boleyn.
That was kind of what I was thinking.
But, like, she wasn't super great, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And granted, okay, so just history on us, we are related to Anne Boleyn.
Mm-hmm. Very, very distantly, obviously.
Very, very, very distantly. Actually, the other Boleyn, Mary Boleyn, we're descendants of. So, like, I don't know how much, like, our grandma would really appreciate that if we kept her around.
Yeah.
Because didn't Mary just, like, live fairly peacefully after she died? I don't know.
I think so. Wait, wasn't that Mary Queen of Scots?
No. No, Mary Boleyn, she just kind of became a nothing person again.
A nothing burger.
Yeah. But she was the only one who gave him a strong male heir. Eventually got diabetes in that line of family, but
you win some, you lose some.
Didn't Robert the Bruce die on the battlefield, right?
I don't know.
Oh, he just died of an illness. He had leprosy.
He had leprosy? Oh, that sucks. Hate when that happens. You just fall all to pieces.
I don't know who I would save. You know what? I feel like they always killed, like, babies and stuff when they shouldn't have. I don't know. I don't know how to answer this question.
That's okay. Because I'm trying to think of who else.
Honestly, you know what? Henry VIII's, like, what was it? His first wife? Honestly. Second one? The first one he killed.
You know who I would do? Lady Jane.
Yeah.
Was she the one that was like...
Yeah, I think she's the one that I want to save.
Was she the one that was super, super young?
Yeah.
And they were only married for like a few days, something like that. What is that famous painting?
And she just looks so sad.
Yes. Lady Jane Grey, because she was the 9 days queen.
Mm-hmm.
She was 17 when she was
killed
her on February 12th, 1554.
Let's save her.
Yeah.
Because that was just like a horrific end to a life.
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing but chaos, right? But leading up to her death.
I agree.
Are there better ones? Probably. But you know what? My brain on a Sunday night can't think of any of them.
Yeah. And I don't want to save a murderer. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is something good you'd like to share?
Ooh. It's soup season again.
Soup season.
Soup season. And I made chicken wild rice soup for the first time for soup season.
Nice.
And it was really, really good. Like, I did a good job on this one,
Nice.
the inaugural one. It's always like there's that pressure,
Yep.
of like your first soup. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be too salty? Is it going to be like not seasoned enough? Too thin? Too thick?
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was perfect.
It was just right.
It
was the Goldilocks of
It's
chicken
the
wild rice soups.
Goldilocks of chicken wild rice soups, if I do
Nice.
say so myself.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. It was so good that we even had it for dinner the next night.
Wow.
Yeah. If you know my household at all, he doesn't do leftovers like ever. So the
No, he
fact that it
doesn't.
was a dinner leftover was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But like pot roasts and stews and stuff are usually kind of the only ones. I get it. They're usually better the
exceptions
next
to the
day.
rule. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my good thing, is a successful first soup.
Nice.
What about you?
So this past week, I was out of town Monday through midday Friday at a trade show. I was working in South Carolina, and the first night we went out to eat at this like local dive bar. It's not like a dive bar, but like a local hangout
just a local bar
place that just so happened to be right next to a foot massage parlor. And
Okay.
I made a joke with my girlfriend who I was on the trip with, and I said, "Oh, do you want to go get couples foot massages?" And she's like, "Only if we can hold hands." And we kind of laughed about it. And then Wednesday, which was the second day of the 3-day show, she was like, "If I said that I actually wanted to do the foot massage, would you do the foot massage with me?" And I said, 1000% I would do the foot massage with you.
Yeah.
So,
especially during like a trade show. Are you kidding?
where you're on your feet all day. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're traveling.
she and I went and we got a 30-minute foot massage, and we added a 30-minute chair massage. And it was all amazing. Best $80 I've ever spent at a trade show. Okay. This is the last thing I'm going to say about the foot massage place because it was so funny. We were put in this like darkened room for like relaxation purposes for the foot massage. And there's like these two like chase lounge type things that we're laying on. And they put these like warm kind of fluffy-ish towels on us as like blankets. And then they took these washcloths, dry as a bone washcloths, and put them over our over our eyes, and they were like, "Relax." That's what the guy said to me. To my friend, the woman who she had put it on her face and said, "Go to sleep."
Oh my God.
So after that, I was like, there wasn't any chloroform on your rag, was there? Because she was very stern and like, "Go to sleep."
Wow.
So
night.
sleep tight. But yeah, it was very much needed. And I think now if I go to more trade shows that are more than 2 days, I'm going to make that part of my routine, getting a foot massage. All right. Shall we?
Yep.
Want to be social with us? You can see pics from this week's episode, bonus content, and funny memes on X at Ye Olde Crime Pod, or on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube at Ye Olde Crime Podcast.
Speaking of YouTube, we have a special playlist just for our Can You Crack the Cramp Word segments with our guest podcasters to see who can correctly guess the meaning of some obscure Victorian slang terms. If that's your thing, check it out.
And on that note, as always, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Madison.
And we'll see you next time with another tale
As old as crime.